Welcome back to another episode of the White Sox March to October, and this could be it for Season 3. I mean, I shouldn't get ahead of myself, but I would like for it to be it for Season 3 because we have a 2-0 World Series lead over the St. Louis Cardinals, which means we're 2 wins away from wrapping up another World Series victory, which would make it a three-peat. Also on the line, though, is the fact that we've had an undefeated postseason up to this point. Swept Toronto 3-0, swept the Rangers 4-0 in 4 straight extra inning games, which is even more crazy. And then, yeah, now the 2-0 series lead over the Cardinals. So I'm playing the next 2 games of the series today, which if we win both games, that ends it. So there is nothing left to do than to just hop into Game 3. We're on the road in St. Louis, and we go in with a 1-run lead into the game, leading 1-0. It looks like, man, Jared Schuster's throwing a 1-hitter so far through 5. All right, so here we go. On the mound with Jared Schuster. He's got plenty of energy left, so I'm going to leave him in. I mean, it is only the 6th inning. There's nobody out in the 6th inning for him. And there we go, 1 pitch to get the first out. Perfect. But how about Jake Eder and Jared Schuster, the 2 guys that I didn't really have the most faith in going into this season? And at least up to this point for Schuster, but Eder had a great start, and Schuster's having a great start back-to-back in the World Series in games 2 and 3. And that, oh, it's just out of reach for Senzel. And he gets all the way to 3rd too, which now that I think of it, I don't even remember. Do I have Senzel play 2nd, or is he normally in the outfield? I think I do normally have him play 2nd. I think that makes more sense. I was just a little frustrated that he didn't get to that ball, and I think Duran might get to that ball. That should be our double play, though, and it doesn't even matter. All right, great job. You know what? I also just realized we didn't look at what's gone on in this game, which obviously not much has gone on, but where has our run come from? Looks like Vladdy scored and Eloy drove him in. So Eloy continuing to be the main guy here in the World Series. And then, yeah, Schuster, I guess 2 hits now after the one I gave up. 6 innings, 8 punch outs. Oh, and Vaughn getting jammed, but getting a hit off of it. I will take that, man. Probably shouldn't be late on that. 95. I don't know, 95 is definitely something I should be able to get around on, but I'll give myself a break. That was my first at-bat of the day. All right, and I'll take a walk there. I worked that back from a 1-2 count. Couple runners on here with nobody out to try and extend this lead. Oh my God, and Waller's getting walked too. This time we worked it back from down 0-2. Bases are loaded now. Nobody out. Mejia up, and it looks like they're going to a new arm. And is that Adam Wainwright? Oh, and that's... Okay, they're going to give me the run, but that is almost the worst thing I could have done there. I guess not quite, since I did score a run, but I also, like, I knew that was going to happen, and I couldn't avoid it. There was nothing I could do to avoid it. I was up 3-1 in the count, too, and all I wanted was just to get walked in. And actually, there's no way that was Adam Wainwright. That was just the normal Cardinals manager that's still the Cardinals manager. I should be taking Senzel out now that there's a righty, right? Yep, I'm going to go Fletcher. It is clutch rating active right now, but Fletcher's still better clutch and power against righties, and then we can get some better defense in. I definitely have not done that great, though, with Fletcher at the plate. Oh, and there we go. There's Fletcher doing something. That should score too. Yeah, Robert with 77 speed is easily going to score. I actually, now that I think about it, I have no idea why they put him on for free. Like, we already had 2 outs in the inning after the double play. I don't really understand setting up the force at second there with 2 outs. So all that really did for me was give me an extra run. Oh, and Vlad, of course, Vlad of all people I don't get a hit with, and that might be the most hittable pitch I saw. What an inning, though. This is feeling so safe after that. And I feel like that is exactly what I was talking about at the end of last game, when I said all of a sudden something clicked and it just like it felt easy when I struck out the side in the top, or the top of the 9th and walked it off in the bottom. And then in this one, right after it got easy again, we put up 3 runs in our first inning of hitting. I think we got it back. And this opens the door then to see how far Schuster can go in this one, because I was originally only planning on leaving him in to face these 2 lefties that were leading off this inning, but now with a 4-run lead instead of a 1-run lead, I can just kind of leave him in, see what he's got for me. And there we go. All right, fastball in at 96, sits him down. Still got life to the heater. And there we go, man. A perfect changeup to sit down the righty. I wonder, man, can Schuster finish this thing? There's 2 more innings left, but maybe. And another walk, man. For the most part, all I've had to do in this one is just sit there and let them throw 4 balls to each batter. Oh, nice. I just got under with Eloy. That might be the most effective pitch for them right now. Vaughn, though, is getting himself another hit as long as they don't call that an error. I mean, that was kind of right too, Arenado. That's a play I'd expect him to make. I love the way, I'm just now noticing it here, now that I don't really need to focus as hard, I feel, but the way that at this stadium, okay, well, never mind. Let's hold that thought, because I'm just going to ground into a double play instead. All right, there we go. Let's get these outs quick, Schuster. I like it. And it's perfect, man. 3 pitches, 2 outs. And then a 3-pitch strikeout to finish it off, dude. Schuster, elite right now. All right, so anyway, what I was saying last inning is I find it funny how the different advertisements they changed out in the outfield there, because they can't, they can't have the real names there. Like the Ford logo just says cars. I mean, come on, that's hilarious. Robert, oh, that's not going to get through. And he's not going to get on. Wow, that was quite the play. All right, Schuster, let's see if we can finish this thing off. You got a 4-run lead. You got a shutout working. Let's just get the job done. And there we go, man. That low and away changeup to the righty. What a pitch that's been. That time we couldn't get the strikeout, but it's at least another weak grounder. 1 more, Schuster. It's all you need. I wonder how many complete game shutouts there have been in World Series history. And Jared Schuster, of all people, is on the verge of having one. He's 1 strike away. And there we go. It's the fastball that finishes it. He's fired up. 13 strikeout complete game shutout in Game 3. We're 1 game away from the sweep. 1 game away from a perfect postseason. And how about Dominic Fletcher too, coming off the bench, getting that big 2-run double? I mean, if he doesn't do that, I might not have had the guts to leave Schuster in the whole game. So Game 4, what could be the final game of Season 3 of the White Sox March to October, we get to have another 1-run lead. It is an identical situation, basically. Bottom 6, nobody out, runner on first with a 1-run lead. That's the same thing we had going on last game, except it was 1-0 instead of 2-1. All right, so let's do it. It should be Jordan Montgomery out there, our 3rd lefty pitcher in a row, and he's done it himself too. 8 strikeouts through 5, the 1 run allowed. I feel like just since he has given up a run, he probably isn't at the same spot in terms of his energy, and yeah, he is a little bit lower. He's more halfway, but we definitely can leave him in this game. 2 lefties due up to start this inning, and he does still have what should be plenty of energy to still be effective right now, as long as I can hit my spots, which that doesn't seem to be happening. Oh, and look at that spot. Okay, I wasn't even trying to keep that in the zone. I guess he knows better. Oh my God, and that 12-6, that just might be the pitch here, man. Back-to-back strikeouts on that. The circle change works just as good. What a dominant 3 batters to get out of that inning. All right, now let's just do the same thing we did last game. Add on to our lead, make things even more comfortable. Oh my God, how did I miss that though? Dude, okay, you can't hit the slider. They don't let you hit the slider. That's what I'm learning. Well, I hit the slider, but I didn't hit it very well. Okay, there we go. Keep it weak. If we're not going to just continue striking him out with Montgomery like last inning, pop him up like that. And there's another one. The cutter in is like an automatic pop-up. Oh, and then a 1-pitch ground out for Mason Wynn. 7 innings for Montgomery. If we don't give him any run support, I'm probably just going to go ahead and take him out. We have 3 back-end arms to cover 2 innings. I like it. Man, and they're bringing in the same pitcher they just used last game that I think he was the one who gave, like, everything up. And he's going to give up even more. Vaughn, I think that's going to make him 3 for 3 in today's episode so far, and this time it's a double. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't show the stat splits for like just the World Series, but you never know what could get you World Series MVP. I mean, Vaughn already has a fluke World Series MVP under his belt. Oh, did Mejia just get him? Did Mejia just get him here? Oh my God, he did. Francisco Mejia going deep. I feel like he has struggled for a while in this postseason. It is his second homer of the postseason, but he hasn't really done anything for a bit. Well, I guess there we go. There's our run support. I might still take Montgomery out, though. I'm also just realizing I, again, forgot to look at what happened up to the point in the game that we came into, but it says out on the board there that Eloy has a solo homer already today, so that'd be 3 homers for him in the World Series. He's flirting with 4, but I don't think, yeah, it's not quite going to leave. All right, and I am. Even though Montgomery was looking great, I'm just going to go to the pen, go to our big arms in the back end of that bullpen, make sure we can wrap this one up today. And Duran should be able to get to that one. Nice play. Ooh, and that one didn't even let me control Duran. It looked like he gave about as much effort as he could have, though, so I don't know if it makes a difference. That could be a double play, though, to immediately get him off the bases. My God, these Cardinals can't do anything against me. Oh, and I'm under it again with Vlad. It is so crazy how he was the man, the savior of the ALCS against the Rangers, and then come the World Series, I can't do anything with him anymore. Oh, there we go, though. I mean, I guess maybe Vlad just did everything he could in the championship series and has nothing left. But at least everybody else is picking up the slack. We've made so many good swings with so many different players. And Duran's adding on to that. Ah, and they brought in a lefty from Montgomery, and I just couldn't do anything. Oh, and Vaughn can't maintain his perfect episode. We can't add any more on, but a 3-run lead going to the bottom of the 9th, 3 outs away from a 3rd straight World Series. And I'm going to the only man that I can go to right here, Garrett Crochet, to get the save to close it out in what, I'll be honest, is potentially his last game in a White Sox uniform. He is going to be a free agent after this season, and you never know what could happen with that. That's not what we're worried about right now, though. What we're worried about is getting these last 3 outs and wrapping this thing up, and he was really just too early on the fastball. And there we go. If he's too early on the heat, he's way out in front of the slider. And now it's the heat. 1 out away. And there's strike 1 looking. I'm going to go up and away. Another fastball. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It ruins the momentum. Kills the moment a little bit there, Jordan Walker, but that's fine. It's futile. I mean, what a swing, though. Look at where that pitch was, and to hit that as hard as he did. And there it is. Grounder to Duran should do it. And for the 3rd straight season, the Chicago White Sox are your World Series champions. I can't help but bring it up anytime we do something good here. This is still the White Sox team that we started as the worst team in the league when we started this March to October. We won in year 1 as the worst team, and now we kept that momentum going. We are a true dynasty, and as a White Sox fan, I mean, with the season we had to go through in real life this year, to at least see anything positive, I mean, I was gonna say it feels good, but if I'm being totally honest, it almost like doesn't even make sense to my brain. But that can't be a bad thing. It can only be a good thing. And look at this there. Manfred handing the 3rd straight World Series trophy to Pedro Grifol. And not only is it the 3rd straight World Series, the three-peat, but it's also a perfect postseason run. I don't think we've done that yet. I mean, I've done that in other March to Octobers, but in the first 2 seasons with these White Sox, I don't think I did that. So that's a first. And here we are. Just like that, it's all over. World Series champs, legend difficulty. We're in the favorites tier this season. Best regular season record of all time. Perfect postseason. I mean, this right here, the 2026 White Sox, I think is undisputed the greatest team ever assembled. So don't go anywhere yet, though, because because I know I mentioned it before, but it was a while back, but I'm not going to have a dedicated stat recap episode. So before we get out of here today, what I do want to do is I want to go into franchise and I want to just look at the awards. I want to look at the postseason awards, the regular season awards, because even if we're not diving deep into stats, I still think that's important. I think that's something you guys want to see, and I know for sure that's something I want to see. So let's just go straight to it then. I think it takes us straight to World Series MVP. I always like to make a little prediction or two. I think World Series MVP is going to be Eloy. I think he hit 3 homers. I think postseason MVP should be Zach Gallen, but the game never gives it to pitchers, so it's probably going to end up going to Vlad, which he's also worthy. And then, man, when it comes to regular season MVP, I have no idea. We legitimately had like 5 or 6 contenders probably, so I don't even know who's gonna rise to the top of that. So let's just see. Let's go into it here. Go into our awards, and it was Vaughn again winning the World Series MVP. That, I mean, he did bat 400. I made a comment while I was hitting with him that he seems to be getting a lot of hits in the World Series, but that's, in my opinion at least, 2 fluke World Series MVPs under his belt. Who's the postseason MVP? It's Vlad. We knew that. 6 home runs, 359 average. Absolutely ridiculous championship series. And then how about regular season MVP? That one, it didn't go to any of our players. Wow. Even though we had so many, so we still haven't won an MVP here, because on the left we can see it was Jordan, then Judge, then Seager. So man, I kind of thought this was the year that we were going to win an MVP, but I guess we still got to chase that. How about for the National League? That goes to Acuna. For the 2nd year in a row, he beat out Shohei, which is showing Shohei's hitting numbers here, which, I mean, that's like right on par with what Acuna did. So what about pitching? I guess he didn't do so great pitching. So I'm actually curious. Let's say Shohei does something like this in real life, where his pitching numbers, he didn't have that great of a season, but he was still like a beast at the plate. Does the pitching take away from his MVP case? Does it still add to it because he still did pitch? Or do you just kind of not consider that at that point? Like, is that something that can only add but can't really subtract to an MVP season, if that makes any sense? I don't know, but moving on, Cy Young, there is our, I guess, sweep of the finalists. I think we did already know. Yeah, we knew Woodruff won it because when we brought him in that one time, it said he won. But yeah, so many of our arms worthy of that. All 3 of them in the final, and that's our 3rd straight year of winning the Cy Young Award. In the NL, it was... Stop it, game. How? Just how? I guess there's no reason to even say anything else. He had a 5.44 ERA. What are we doing giving him the Cy Young Award? All right, let's fly through the rest of these here. Batting title went to Vlad with a 3.45 average. Reliever of the year, Crochet was in the mix at least. Rookie of the year, yeah, I don't really remember having any rookies this year that were as prominent. Still also a fake award too, with Montgomery not having won it last season. Hank Aaron Award also goes to Vlad for being the best hitter. And then now we're on to gold gloves. See if we get any of these. I feel like defense isn't always like, you know, our biggest strength. But I feel like I saw Fletcher. Oh, Robert won one. Okay, Robert won in center. And then Fletcher did win in right field, so he's a 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. I think Robert, this makes him a 3-time. And then Silver Sluggers, Eloy wins for DH. He wins by plenty. I mean, look at that, man. First base, Vlad wins it, and Vaughn finishes 2nd. So what this should have been is Vlad winning it for 3rd because he played 3rd base. And then Vaughn also winning one for first base, but I guess this game doesn't recognize that. Duran wins it for 2nd, and then yeah, Vlad should have won it for 3rd. I guess Montgomery was never gonna win it over Seager, but how cool would that be to sweep Silver Slugger awards in the infield? Man, and Robert finished runner-up. I guess it's just kind of outfield in general, so he must have been like the 4th highest voted, because you got Jordan, you got Soto, and you got Judge all finishing above him, winning the award. And then that's it. Right back into postseason MVP, which we already saw. So that's gonna go ahead and wrap up the final episode of season 3. And we're keeping going with this March to October. I know it's slowed down big time there, especially in the postseason here in between the championship series and the World Series. We're gonna get back on track though. These videos should be easy to make. There's no reason for me to fall behind on them again. But also, we'll get into it next episode, which is the off-season episode, but I do have a plan in mind to make things at least a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit more difficult going forward. So I'm excited for that, which makes me excited to keep things going here. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Not just this episode, not just this season, but the series as a whole if you've been enjoying it. But thanks for hanging out with me again today, and I will see you next time for the off season.